We live in New York, and every day we deal with a stressful environment, and dogs deal with that same exact environment totally differently. I don't think we thought about that before.
This is Ollie. When we got her, she was definitely a little crazy. Since then, it's been a slow but meticulous process of getting her adjusted to New York, to our apartment, to people, and other dogs.
She has a lot of fears. We were her foster parents first, and when we first started fostering her, I think she was still in her adjusting phase, where she basically never barked, just slept all day. Then during week 2, she kind of woke up from this and was aggressive. She would growl at people, she would try to bite us, she would even try to bite if you just tried to put the leash on her collar. She would bark at cars, people going on by bikes. She had intense separation anxiety and would bark for like 8 or 9 hours if we were gone and just be scratching at the door the whole time.
We were just confused. Why is this happening? We just didn't know the why behind all of these things. We just kind of felt like a little lost, not really knowing what our next steps were.
We got to being at our peak overwhelmed phase, and we started looking at different training schools in the city, and we were a little taken aback just looking at all the prices of the schools. But then we found School for the Dogs and saw that they had a scholarship fund. We applied and started working with Anna.
Even just the first session was so educational. I was taking copious amounts of notes because I knew absolutely nothing about how dogs think. We had been treating her as though she was just like a human in a dog body. Anna laid out like all of the basics for us. I think we hadn't even realized how fearful she was up until then. But we started paying attention to her body language when she was out on walks, something we never really thought about. It really changed the way we saw Ollie and interacted with her.
Anna gave us direct steps that we could take between classes. And sometimes we would get overwhelmed again, but Anna would be there with more action plans of what we could do to help metabolize everything piece by piece.
Each time we went back for a class, Ollie was significantly better. Obviously, she's still not perfect. She still has slight issues that we're trying to work on and are slowly working on. But she's a very different dog.
We just never thought we could have a dog that could sit on command, which she can now do. And even though that seems like a really small thing, it's just the knowing that even though she's 8 years old, we can still continue to train her and give her skills that will make both of our lives easier.
Our communication with her is very different because we now actually have an understanding of what she's trying to tell us, as opposed to just guessing. Now we know when she's stressed and she needs a break or is excited to be on a walk or she wants to stay out longer. So we can actually help her get what she needs. A lot of dog training schools are really focused on puppies, which is fantastic for people who need that, and puppies need a lot of training. But when you're fostering and thinking about adopting, most of the dogs that are most underserved are older dogs, and they need training too. For us, I think if people knew that it's possible to get affordable training in New York for these older senior dogs, the idea of adopting a senior wouldn't be so overwhelming.